bring this Village of Greenhills Council meeting to order for August 26, 2025. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Borner?
Here.
Ms. Swather?
Here.
Ms. Hudson?
Here.
Mr. Halter?
Here.
Ms. Hermes?
Here.
Mr. Lee?
Here.
Mayor Moore?
Here. We have a prayer by Maria Walter.
We're getting close to 9/11, so we need not to forget history in order not to relive it again. Powerful God, our refuge and our strength, we turn to you for peace and security as we recall the 9/11 attack. We thank you for the bravery and the sacrifice for those who saved lives as firefighters, rescue crews, or people aboard United 93. We pray for your peace as we remember the terrorism attacks. May our suffering from lessened attacks awaken in us an awareness of the pain and fear that so many around the world live with each day. May we know how to pray for those who struggle against oppression and injustice as we hear of terrorist activity around the world. Quiet our fears, heal the wounded of these attacks, and help their families and friends rest in your security. Gracious God, our world changed. We have seen how easily buildings can fall and how quickly lives can end. As we remember this, may it remind us that you are our only true security. Give us your strength to face the memory of this attack and the changes it made in our lives. Give us your compassion to help each other and recognize needs around the world. Give us your hope as we face an uncertain future. Give us your peace. In the strong name of Jesus Christ, through the power of the Holy Spirit, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And for the pledge, I'm going to go down and meet the commander and the president of the auxiliary. Jim, Werner, would you come down and help me here? John?
Join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
John is the auxiliary president of the American Legion. The commander is here with us. They need to speak. Commander, would you start?
I know we're on the walking path, and we'd like to make a donation to that. There's $2,000.
Thank you.
$500 for the memorial for Jeff.
Oh, thank you.
$500 from the Legion Auxiliary. Congratulations. We can't wait to see it done.
And I'm matching her contract with $500 for the veterans staff.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for your generosity, but also thank you for the honor to bring you honored as the men, the men and women in uniform. Thank you so much for your service.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else bring any money? Doesn't hurt to ask. All right, moving on, approval of minutes of previous meetings, the council meeting of July 22nd, 2025, and the council work session of August 12th, 2025. If there are no corrections, meeting minutes will stand approved.
No corrections, so.
All right, we have no proclamations, public presentations. Chief Tony Spaeth, Greenhills Fire Department.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of notes tonight. First of all, our statistics for the month of July, we made 39 EMS runs and 21 fire runs for a total of 60. That puts us 7 ahead versus the same month last year and 9 ahead year to date through the end of July. We're at a total of 275 EMS calls and 124 fire calls for a total of 399. I don't have any August numbers yet because I was on vacation last week and we still got a week to go. So we'll share those next month. I just wanted to make a couple comments this evening. First of all, Maria, thank you for reflecting on 9/11. We appreciate that, and as I think about that, you know, it's 25 years ago, and the vast majority of the members of the fire department weren't even born yet.
Yeah.
You know, so how does that make us all feel? You know, so
Thanks,
it's very important. So thank you.
Tony, I had a former student of mine that was working at the towers.
Uh-huh.
The last words he said to his wife, take care of the girls, 3 girls, and the one girl was 5 days old.
Right. I know.
And I
This
knew
is-
their whole family, so I mean, it's, everybody has a story.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to congratulate Julie Sheets. Some of you know Julie. She runs our PR and our public education program. She's celebrating 22 years of service
Wow.
this month in the fire department. So congratulations to Julie, and thanks to her for all the great work she does. We're entering the fall, which every year I report is really the busiest time of the year for the fire department. Hydrant maintenance is going to be starting soon, although I think it's going to be delayed a little bit because of the couple of water main breaks that we had in town today. But I know that Waterworks is diligently isolating the situation and the cause of that and getting it repaired. So at the appropriate time, hydrant maintenance will begin. Turkey raffle time will be coming up before you know it, so the green envelopes will be showing up on your doorstep. And as always, we appreciate everybody's support with that. It really helps support us and allows us to save up for large purchases that oftentimes can't be purchased through our regular budget just because of how expensive things are. So that's will and still remains a critical piece of the work that we do at the fire department. Fire Prevention Week comes up here the first week of October, so that's always a great time. We get out to have contact with the community and the children. Harvest Fest obviously is coming up. And of course, this year history is being made. In fact, next Monday, mark it, 9/1/25, part-time coverage begins. And so I just want to reflect on that for a minute. This is history, and everybody here is a part of this. Everybody. I was thinking about this many years from now when we're not in the positions that we're in, and maybe we're off council or not in the fire service or whatever. You're going to look back and you're going to say, I was a part of that. It's going to be big. I want to thank all the volunteers. Excuse me. You know, we've been staffed by volunteers since 1938. We can't forget that. You know, we're indebted to these people. Next month, Aki Hoffman will celebrate 50 years on the fire department. Think about that. That's the foundation, and many other people, examples like that. We're going to be a combination part-time. We're still going to have volunteers. We're going to rely on volunteers. They're still going to serve and be a big part of the service that we provide. As you know, we're going to staff the fire department 16 hours a day from 8 in the morning until midnight, 7 days a week, with 3 part-time people. We have all but one day of the week, we're going to have at least 1 paramedic on duty, which is really exciting. We have some really, really good people. I'm very, very enthused. From midnight to 08, we'll still be staffed with volunteers who will either voluntarily stay at the firehouse or they'll respond from home and they'll be paid by the run, their hourly rate. So, big part of the fire department. The residents. Thank you. They passed the levy overwhelmingly. Very, very great support. We know it's hard to ask for money, and it is a lot of money, but when you look at the cost of what we're providing versus the return on that investment, when you compare it to other communities, there's no one that can touch what we're doing, not even close. You know, our number one job is to serve the community, and that's what we're going to continue to do. All of you folks, the village council, administration, you know, it's been a lot of work over the last couple of years, right? And there's been a lot of hurdles, but we've navigated every single one of those together. That's really a testament to the level of commitment that all of you have. You know, it's easy for people to come up here and complain about things you're not doing, but the things that we are doing as a team, far greater than any of the little problems that we're working very hard to address. Way more good going on than bad. This is an excellent example of that. I can't think of a better one. So thank you. All of our current members of our department, the leadership, our officers, our chief staff, man, a lot of time, effort, commitment has been demonstrated for a lot of years, but especially the last 18 months to 2 years. A lot of work. So we're at this point now. We all face challenges and the desire to get better and improve. All of us. Thanks to those making a positive difference and prioritizing public safety. That is the number one job of all of us, public safety. I don't believe anybody could argue that. And that's exactly what we're doing. We have an accredited police department. We have an ISO rating of the fire department of a 3, which places us in the top 7% of fire departments in the country. Think about that. Right here. People make that happen. It's not magic. So, thank you. We look forward to the future. I think you see my passion. Anybody have any questions?
I
Yes.
always do. Tony, is there anything that you need in the fire department? You mentioned at one time the radios, you mentioned certain things. I heard a little voice at some point in time saying that perhaps they were looking to give a donation to the fire department. Is there something in a list or something that you want to have for the fire department that you haven't had yet or cannot afford? I hear these things, you know.
Right. So, I mean, there are always things that we need.
Can you give me a list?
And yes, I can give you a list.
Can you text me a
I
list?
can't give it here, but
No,
I
text me
can
a
give you a
list.
list, you know.
Because I know some people that have come to me and they want to do something for the fire department.
No, I appreciate that.
Okay.
There's
I
every.
am so sure
yeah.
that my ear is on the ground.
I don't think anybody can argue with that. But yes, thank you. Anybody else, comments, questions?
I just want to say thanks for what you do. I mean, I know that you were nervous, and we all were, about going to the community and, like you said, asking for money, and then to have a police levy too. And
just
Yeah.
like you said, there's a lot of rhetoric, there's a lot of negativity, but the people spoke. And so
Yeah.
I think that it shows that we have faith in what's being done and there's an appreciation. And we can't pay you guys what you're worth, period, point blank. We could never pay you what you're worth. So that's amazing to almost have almost a century of volunteer fire department. And I'm personally excited for the future and just continue, because there will be bumps in the road. So just continue to be transparent and let us know how we can support you and how we can be solution focused and try to be proactive versus reactive. And I feel confident that we all want that because we want it to succeed. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And I'll just mention too that, to thank the volunteers for all these years.
Yes.
The village has been saved millions of dollars from 38 up to today.
Yeah.
And our department's probably, I don't know if there's any volunteers left that are totally unpaid in Hamilton County. But
No,
No.
we're the last
we're
one.
the last
one.
ones. So it's been a good run.
It has.
So thanks to
Thank
everybody.
you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks. Okay, Jennifer Reichert, Greenhills Branch Public Library.
Good evening, everyone. And yes, the water is out at the library right now. So if you're trying to get in, I'm so sorry, and we hope to be back tomorrow. But I know that they're working real hard on that water main break right now, so it just zapped us a little bit. But the library is still a fantastic place for all things back to school. We have online resources, physical resources. Your library card gets you access to so many different things. From a lot of branches have in-person help. If you go to www.chpl.org, there's links to all of the different resources. We have databases, we have online tutors that are available every day of the week, all kinds of different things. If you're a teacher, we also have special teacher cards, and we can help you put together classroom materials, order collections, all kinds of different things. So if you have any questions, feel free to call any of us, but if you're nearby in Greenhills, we would love to help you out. We also have added a new button maker, a large one, to our stash of equipment at the library. So it's not just a laminator and an electric stapler. We also have a 2-inch button maker now that you are welcome to stop by. It's 10 cents a button for that. We also, of course, continue to offer the $5 worth of printing per person per day, and also faxing and scanning to email are always free, so you can do as much scanning as you need to, as long as it doesn't use the paper, no fees. We are also excited that the Stern Lecture will be happening again, and that will be at the Aronoff Center that's hosted by the Stern family donated the money to the library to host a lecture every year. And we're excited that Nicholas Kristof, who is a 2-time Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist and a best-selling author, and he will speak at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, September 30th at the Aronoff, and tickets range from $5 to $15. He'll be discussing his memoir, Chasing Hope, A Reporter's Life. I mean, he's lived on 4 continents, reported from 6, traveled to more than 150 countries, and along the way, he's caught malaria, experienced war zones, encountered warlords, and also survived a plane crash in Africa, apparently. And he not only survived it, he pressed on and kept right on doing what he did. So his book is called Chasing Hope. So we're hoping to tap into that at Greenhills by having a community mosaic art project where we'll have many tiles, and anybody who wants one can take one home and decorate it with what hope means to you. So that's for all ages, and you can either decorate it at the library, take it home and bring it back, but we would love to have a mosaic that celebrates hope, and we think that would be a lot of fun. And if anybody is interested in tickets, you can go to our website for the link, or you can go to the Aronoff to purchase them, and we hope a lot of people will take advantage of it. Also, we will be having another bit of fun with International Dot Day, which is on September 15th. And that was inspired by Peter H. Reynolds' book, The Dot, which is all about a young person who is encouraged to make her mark, even if it doesn't come out quite the way she thought. And we also want to encourage our youth and teens to come to the library and make their mark as well. So we'll be having Kid.Day on Saturday, September 13th at 2 p.m. and we will be having Teen.Day on Monday, September 15th at 4:30 p.m. So people are welcome to come. If you're going to come to the kid one, we just ask that you reserve a space so that we know how many people will be coming. We also will have a special visit from Dean Regas, the astronomer. He will come and discuss Tour of the Universe, You Are Here. So we'll rocket through space and sail among billions of stars and galaxies and use some amazing simulation software to guide you through the mind-boggling scale of the universe. And that's going to be on Tuesday, also on this Tuesday the 30th. So that one is going to be at 6:30 p.m. And we hope that all ages would be welcome to attend that one. Also, the Sign Museum is celebrating its 25th anniversary, so it's going to bring a presentation of over 100 years of American history and pop culture through signs. And this talk will look at the origins of the museum and highlights from its collection that celebrate the unique combination of artistry and industry that make a sign. And that is going to be on Wednesday, September 24th at 6 p.m., so a little bit earlier than some of ours. And also, we're going to have some special customer appreciation activities coming at the end of September and the beginning of October at Greenhills. And throughout the fall, all of the libraries will be having different events. So please keep your eyes open for that as we celebrate all the people that we are here for. We also have a number of other of our programs coming up, including the Family Story Times, our Youth Drawing Club, and the Family Story Times on Mondays at 10:30 a.m. Youth Drawing Club is on Mondays at 4:30 p.m. We also have our Secrets of Spice, which will be on Tuesday, September 2nd at 6:30 p.m. Our Spice of the Month is Time. We also are going to have our Mystery Book Club on Monday, September 15th at 6:30. We've been welcoming new members, and we would love to welcome more. So if you need the book, just stop into the branch. We'd be happy to. And even if you haven't read it, but you're curious, come on down. We'd love to have you. We have also got our Classic Movie Club on Saturday, September 20th at 11 a.m. And also the Sign Museum and the Tour of the Universe, like I mentioned before. So busy, come and see us.
Jennifer, I don't think you have enough to do, so I came up with another idea.
Okay.
There's a gentleman by the name of Michael Brubaker, and I told him to get in contact with you. He wants to find out about Korea veterans from Greenhills and that graduated from the Greenhills High School, and Vietnam veterans.
Okay.
Because he graduated from Greenhills High School. And I just thought that in your spare time, you will meet with Mike, and that would be able to find some of the things that he is thinking about doing for the year of the 250th anniversary.
So we will have the Greenhills journals we have going back to 1950 in the branch, as well as other clippings and other resources. And of course, the Historical Society would have a great deal of those as well. And our main library, so if we need to get into more historic newspapers like the Cincinnati Enquirer or some of the other bigger ones beyond the journal, those are all definitely things that we are available and have at our fingertips.
I thought that Mike and you would have a perfect fit for this quest.
Be happy to assist, have him just stop on down.
Thank you.
And if we need to get him to the main, we also have contacts down there too.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, what size buttons for the button maker?
2-inch or 1-inch now.
Okay,
We have
thank you.
both. Thank you.
All right, very good. Okay, we have no public hearings tonight. Reports of municipal officials, municipal manager Yvonne Kovac.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to start with a review of our items that are on our agenda tonight. So the first one is a supplemental, and it is all related to the banquet hall. As we all know, we're doing renovations there, and this is just the start of transferring of some funding in there to start covering the costs. I think I've mentioned them in the past. The HVAC is underway right now, being fixed. We'll have some flooring. And then we'll have the bigger project, which is also on your agenda this evening. And there'll be more to follow on that in the weeks ahead for sure. So this supplemental transfer is all related to putting money into the banquet hall. The next item is something that we see quite often, another set of assessments. These are for items that the village, the property owner probably received a code violation, did not address them, so the village had to step in and remedy the situations, and we then bill those to the owners on their property taxes as a lien. So that is what this assessment resolution accomplishes. The next one is another one that's been a long time coming. It's establishing a new salary schedule for the police department. Somebody was just mentioning it, we had the police levy. The purpose of that police levy was to increase their salaries. So that's what this legislation accomplishes, to establish a new salary schedule that is good for like 5 or 6 years. One thing that it also accomplishes, though, it's been over a year and a half since they've had any increase at all in the police department. So we would like to, this would also allow us to give them 50% of their increase as of September 1st and the remainder as of the first of the year. And then every year after that would simply be according to the schedule. This would be the only year that that would occur to compensate them a little at this point in time. The next item is a contract with Rumpke. Those 5 years went by quickly, so I want to explain a little bit about this process. We belong to an organization called the Center for Local Government, as do all the other municipalities and townships in Hamilton County. As far north, I think, as Warren County. We even have some communities in Kentucky that are part of this. But we were part of the original, it's called the Southwest Ohio Regional Refuse Consortium. And again, Center for Local Government coordinated. We were part of the very first one, and we still have the same group. It's Springdale, Greenhills, Fairfax, Loveland, Mount Healthy, and a recent addition was Riverside. And so it was our year to go out to bid, which we did, and the bids came back with 2 changes. There is will be an increase in the fees, which I have written out in the text of the resolutions if you have those in front of you. And then the other one is before the process started, Rumpke added a definition of unlimited garbage. In the past, they didn't actually have to define it, they just said unlimited garbage, but I guess it's getting to be a lot. So this year, before they submitted their bid, they did want to define what unlimited garbage is. So I'm going to review that again. I'll probably review it every month, so we are all well aware of it. It's up to 6 30-gallon cans or bags, or 2 95-gallon trash carts, and up to 1 large item per service day. There's no changes to recycling. So I don't know. I mean, I personally will see no change at all in that, but some people might. So we'll make sure that you get word out about that and are aware before it happens. They'll still do special pickups, everything you're used to them doing, they will still do that. So I know what, one other thing I wanted to share with you, because we were very lucky. There was another group that went out in 2024, and I want to back up for a minute. In year 1, which would be as of March of 2026, we'll be at $17. We're at $14 right now. And there is not a single community that has a lower price even this year. So I just thought that was worth noting. Glendale, Lockland, Middletown, Westchester, Deer Park, Milford, Monroe, Silverton, and Woodlawn are all at either $17.90 or all the way up into $22.75. So we really have a very good rate. With prices going up on everything, we're lucky, I guess, to have a lower rate than most others right now. So that was a lot of info. Please be in touch if you want some more information on that. I'd be happy to share it with you. So that's the whole purpose of that. Resolution number 16 is to move forward with signature of that Rumpke contract. The next item is resolution of council support for a grant application that will be submitted tomorrow to the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. It's a $100,000 request for obviously tree work, some tree programs, but certainly something that is much needed, and we hope we will be successful in getting that. And then the final item is the big one for the renovation of the what was known as Malloy's. We're calling it the banquet hall right now, and that bid was for hold on in here. The low bid was $471,500. That was the lowest bid. The next bid up was $571,700, and then up to $578,061 by two other companies who submitted. The project, it will involve both interior and exterior renovations on the building, general construction work, roof work, mechanical, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and some interior and exterior painting of the building. So, pretty excited to be finally moving forward with that. And for those who may not know, we do have a signed lease with a user, so that's a good thing too. So I was also going to mention that the Farragut Ingram project is done, but currently underwater. So we'll hope for a better time with that tomorrow, maybe. Also, the park project is underway, and it's pretty exciting to see that path taking shape. So that should be done fairly quickly, and will be pretty exciting to see that as well. So that's what I have for now.
Are we gonna have an event or anything to, like a grand
We
opening?
should, yeah, I think we should.
Well,
Fun.
just to make the
Yeah.
community aware that it's ready to be used.
Right.
Thanks.
Bring out their walking shoes.
Yep.
Okay. Law Director Jeff Forbes.
Thank you, Mayor. Actually, nothing new to report tonight from the last meeting.
Good. Nothing new from the, especially from the state legislators. Probably good.
Right.
Clerk of Council Teresa Lawley.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Chief of Police Jim Howarth. I know you've got something.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I have a few things. We all know school's back in session. I'm sure we've all been behind school buses already, so just keep that in mind traveling through. It gets busy down there, especially at South Campus in the morning. So we just ask everybody to pay attention and use caution. We do have, until we get the SROs in place at the schools, they've reached out and asked us to cover the South Campus on an off-duty detail from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So we will, if you see an officer down there during the day or kids come home and tell them we're in there, that's just a start before the SRO. Once the SROs get in place, then that detail will fall off, but that is ongoing right now. And also I'd like to mention too, if we don't get it filled through our Greenhills officers, it will be open to Forest Park. So if somebody says all of a sudden they saw a Forest Park police officer in the school, that's why, to make sure we have somebody in there. Recently on August 9th, we had a backpack giveaway through Building Bridges in Valley Interfaith up at Grace Hills. We gave out a lot of book bags, but I know they have a lot left. So if anybody knows of any kids in need of a book bag filled with school supplies, reach out to Grace Hills Church up there, Winton and Sharon, to get one. Cooking with the Cops was August 5th. We had a great time, although it was a heavy downpour, but we had, but we had shelter and everybody seemed to have a really good time. So we appreciate it. Jack, Rachel, thanks for cooking, grilling. We appreciate it. Put it on your calendar next year. First Tuesday of August, so no excuses. Building Bridges we just had on Sunday, this past Sunday on the 24th. It was kind of different because this time we didn't have as many teens as we usually have, but we had a lot of adults. It was over at New Life Missionary Baptist Church over in Springfield Township. We had great dialogue, so I thought, although it was definitely different because it wasn't the teens there were a few, but we definitely had good dialogue and good discussion. So we're looking forward to next month. It'll be here before we know it. September 21st will be our next one, Sunday, September 21st. That location's to be determined, but it's going to be a church in Forest Park, and I don't know the exact name and address of it right now, but watch our flyers, watch Facebook, you'll see it posted. Malloy's, just a little update. I know everybody saw in the media, it was a big event, but it also maybe was a slow media week because they all jumped on it, but it was extensive, as we talked about, as far as the damage goes. 7 juveniles, ranging from the age of 6 to the age of 15. The 6-year-old and 2 9-year-olds will not be held in court as far as criminal charges. The other 4 remaining are charged criminally. There has been no movement on that to see if they're going to keep it official or go unofficial with it, but we'll keep you posted on that as far as those charges go. Harvest Fest will be here before we know it, October 5th, as Chief mentioned. We'll be out there too with our equipment, so hopefully kids and everybody will come out to see us. Just a few July stats. We responded to 174 incidents during the month of July. We took 14 criminal offense reports during the month. 3 of them were assault. 1 was a theft from a motor vehicle. Breaking and enterings that we just spoke about. A criminal damaging report. 5 were arrested for operating a vehicle while intoxicated under the influence of alcohol and or drugs. And then we had 3 other various offense reports. We made 8 arrests. Based on those criminal offense reports, we assisted the fire department on 31 squad runs. We had 8 trouble runs, 9 suspicious vehicles and or person calls. We had 4 domestic trouble runs. 2 of them resulted in arrest for domestic violence. We assisted our neighboring agencies on 16 different occasions. We issued 47 traffic citations. We issued 74 traffic warnings. And we investigated 9 auto accident reports. Crimes report to date from January to the end of July. This year, during that time frame, we've taken 98 criminal offense reports. Same time frame, 2024, we took 126. So we are down a little bit compared to a pretty good amount compared to this time last year. I'd like to reach out Stephanie Moan, who's our property room manager, on I believe it was August 18th. She celebrated 4 years with us. And if people don't realize, as a chief of police, property room is one of the main concerns. There's a lot of main concerns, but that's got to be squared away. So she does a great job with maintaining the custody of it and getting stuff to the lab, getting picked up and so forth. So we appreciate what Stephanie does, and we've been blessed to have her 4 years, and we hope to have her a lot longer. With that, I'd like to end with the legislation that's on before you tonight. There's so many people to thank, I don't want to leave anybody out. So mainly, for one, I'd like to, everybody that was on the Political Action Committee that helped support this and get literature out. A lot of you are in the room. I truly appreciate that and the help getting that information out. It was great to work with Manager Kovac and Deb here with the finance part of it. A lot of work went behind it to crunch the numbers to get us out 5 years and so forth. So I do truly appreciate you, and I appreciate the council's willingness to listen to us and the need and putting on the ballot and allowing that legislation to go through. But most of all that being said, if it wasn't for the residents passing that on the heels of a fire department levy, nobody likes new taxes. I totally get it. I pay them too. You know, so if it wasn't for the residents in allowing that to occur, we wouldn't be where we are today in the legislation. We wouldn't be where we are today with passing the pay scales and so forth. And it should be no surprise if anybody was following the levy that that's what was put on. I've been here 2 years almost. 2 weeks in a week it'll be 2 years already, and that's one of the first things I recognized as far as the pay scales and salaries and stuff like that. In order to retain what we have and recruit what we don't have that we will need eventually, those pay scales needed to be adjusted, and that was only possible through a levy. So I truly appreciate the public in stepping forth. You know, and the good thing is if you weren't in support of levies, that's everybody's right, but everybody's going to receive the same amount of service. So I truly appreciate everybody doing that. And if this resolution is passed tonight, then I feel confident that we're going to have a good opportunity to retain people from going to other agencies that pay a lot more, and they still pay a lot more. I don't want to say this puts us at the top, but if you remember the levy material and the 5 other agencies are similar in size that we have, we weren't at the top, we weren't at the very bottom. This puts us right in the average of those 5 agencies. Still not getting money other jurisdictions, but they're bigger jurisdictions and they have a lot more services and calls to do too. So I just wanted to publicly thank everybody to make this happen. And I can tell you the officers naturally are excited about it, and I just don't have any more words, so I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Mayor.
Good job.
Chief,
Yes, sir.
Just one thing with the schools, you use the term SRO and school resource officer, right?
Correct, school resource officer.
Yeah.
So there will be one. This has been another working project for probably about 1.5 years now that we recognize, and Winton Woods has been excellent to work with. They wanted an SRO in the South Campus. They wanted an SRO in the alternative school campus. I will say, you'll note that on the pay scale on there for the SROs also, that's 100% fully funded from Winton Woods. Okay, so we get reimbursed for all their time that they're down at the school, so it's no cost to the village, no cost to the residents other than the taxes naturally through school board. But it's even to the point that, okay, bringing these 2 individuals on, I only had 2 spare radios. So if one of my officers' radios goes bad, I had a spare to give to them right away. Okay, I couldn't use those spares to give to the 2 new SROs. So they fully funded the 2 new radios to the tune of almost $11,000. They paid for that. 2 new firearms, because I couldn't give up our 2 spare firearms, you know, to the new SROs. Then we would have no spare firearms if something went bad. So they funded $2,000 to purchase 2 new firearms. So all the way down to doing the psychological exams that we're required to do, to VSA, the polygraph test, and everything else. I mean, they paid up front about 1 year ago $27,000 to upfit and get these officers on the street. So, but it's been a great working relationship. And if nothing else, it's not like we have major problems in the schools, but to build the relationships with these young kids and having that presence, you know, 8 hours a day in that school is going to be great.
I'd also like to call everyone's attention to the fact that the levy does more than just keep us at a competitive rate. It's very expensive, I think, not only financially but emotionally, to have high turnover of police officers. We have a small staff, and I think when you have to plug somebody new in and all the things that go into equipping them and that expense, because one of the things that we talked about in the safety meeting was just how much turnover have we had lately, and it's been very stable. Hopefully it'll stay that way. Obviously people will eventually move on, but compared to what it was at one point, there was quite a bit of turnover, and that's quite a bit of an expense that hopefully we're going to calm down a little bit. Thanks.
I appreciate that. One other thing I'd like to mention is it's very difficult. Nobody's really getting into our field as much as they used to. So it's very difficult to find people even to, I mean, back in the day, you know, you would never think about taking an officer from another jurisdiction. It just didn't happen. You weren't taking them from another chief. Today, they're throwing everything they can to get you to come over to them because there's just not the candidates out there, people getting into it. And I mentioned in the safety committee meeting, the state law passed that you can actually hire back a retired police officer if they retired 10 or 15 years ago.
What?
You know, I could give them a 40-hour class refresher that they have to go to. They qualify with their firearm, and they're sworn officer back. So that's kind of the times we're in right now. So I'm just grateful for what we have, and there's a lot to say for the continuity of having the officers, you know, here all the time, that you get to know and get that relationship instead of getting to know them and then they're gone. Then you got a new one coming. So I'll quit. I didn't mean to take this much time.
Well, I have a quick question. I'm sorry. Well, it's probably not. My question's quick. Your answer might not be quick. But obviously the incident that happened with the juveniles has gotten a lot of attention. And I know that some people are gonna be upset that the youngest and the ones that cause the most damage are not going to, be reprimanded legally. So can you just explain whose decision that was and why they made that decision?
It's a good question. It's juvenile court's decision based on age. And even usually, generally, there's other circumstances that come into play, but usually they say about age of 13, mental culpable state that they feel like they can hold somebody accountable for a crime. So I'll be honest with you, I was even surprised that they took on the 11 and 12-year-old. That's not always the case. Based on the amount of damage that was done, which let me reiterate by saying the 6-year-old and the 9-year-olds probably caused the majority of the damage, they still took those on, which we're grateful for, you know. I mean, there might be restitution through that, community service or something to get these kids some help. I don't know if that answers your question, but in short, it's definitely, we had a conference with the juvenile court, laid everything out. If we would have just had a normal, probably criminal damaging and stuff, I'm not gonna lie, they probably wouldn't have taken it. But based on the amount of damage and cost to the village, that's when they were like.
And it's already been cleaned up.
Correct. The village had the Malloy's cleaned up. It's all clean and looks pretty good, actually.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep.
Do you have a number of the total damages?
No, we don't yet. We're still working on estimates for everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's significant. And if you look at the pictures, that pretty much tells you, yeah, it's significant. So, and yes, I would have, just like everybody else, would have loved the kids to have to clean it up, but, you know, they'd be cutting themselves and doing everything else, and then we naturally could be held liable too. So we did it the professional way, and we'll go from there and see where it pans out as far as finances. But thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Council.
All right, mayor's report, got mayor's court ending bank balance is $41,715.85. Checks to be issued to the state of Ohio, $677.50, to Hamilton County, $25.50, and to the village of Greenhills, $2,304. And whenever anybody cited in mayor's court, a portion of the fine goes to the state and to the county, and then the rest comes to the village that issues the citation. I have nothing else to report. Reports of committees, intergovernmental affairs, laws and rules, Maria Walter.
We're going to have our meeting on the 9th of September. Is the work session day at 6 p.m. for laws and rules.
Okay. All right, recreation, cable television, Rachel Hudson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We don't have anything scheduled right now, but I have been actively trying to reach out to We Thrive to start a conversation, get some information. I'm not getting any response from them, but I'll continue to see what programs would be available, especially since I've seen some other municipalities that have benefited from the program. And Yvonne, thank you for sharing that resource. And I think, Lisa, I think you know somewhat of it too. And then I also started back up and doing some research about pickleball. So I'm playing phone tag with a guy now, and I'll have that at our next meeting. And then we will have at the pool Residence Day this Saturday, August 30th from noon until 3. Plan to have a couple items out there, some pizza and something to drink, maybe pool concessions while supplies last. So everybody is welcome to come that's a resident. You'll probably have to go up and tell them where you live. They might want to verify or see your driver's license or some things, so we have some due diligence. And then I'm going to go to my long update from Dana out at Waycross. And she says that school sports seasons has begun. This is long, guys. Forgive me. Waycross carried Friday's Winton Woods football game live. Their schedule is filled up with all sorts of sports for 2 school districts, and they need volunteers to help them help give those student athletes the coverage that they need. You can find a list of what they need help with at www.waycross.tv/volunteers. Another reminder to students who need community service hours for school that Waycross shoots count. But if you want to wait until the end of the semester, they might not have any more shoots scheduled. So start earning your hours now so you don't have to panic later. And also, I know a lot of people enjoy this one. Election season is also here, in case anyone hasn't noticed. Waycross has hosted election forum programs for local offices since 1987 and is often the only source of learning about local school board or council candidates. The 2025 election forum schedule is now posted. All registered candidates will be getting a letter from Waycross inviting them to participate. Winton Woods is expected at 8 p.m. on Monday, September 29th, and Greenhills Village Council, I think she's telling me meetings, 6 p.m. on Tuesday, September 30th, yeah. And yeah, so it looks like on just a couple more details is that on Monday, September 29th, for those that are tuning in, 6 p.m. will be the Forest Park City Council, 7 p.m. will be Springfield Township Trustees, 8 p.m. will be Winton Woods School District Board of Election. On Tuesday, September 30th at 6 p.m. will be the Greenhills Village Council, 7 p.m. will be Coleraine Township Trustees, 8 p.m. will be Northwest Local School District Board of Education. That's all I have, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Service and Streets, Melanie Herman.
Thank you. We did meet today. We discussed old business. We did talk about the Ingram Farragut project and that it was done, and again, underwater. We did note that, I did ask, I was like, is there any way that our project would have caused this kind of water main break? And that was a no. However, when the Ingram one blew, it is possible that the adjustment for that is what caused the Farragut Flanders one to erupt. So it is a nice flowing river. Hopefully it is not flowing anymore, but please be careful when you're driving on Farragut and Ingram and watch the water. We did talk about the tree assessment. There is a list of stumps that need to be removed, and there's also a list of trees to come down. If you have questions, you can email the village. The assessment continues. There is still a possibility of looking at purchasing a stump grinder in the future. And just a reminder, we have been a Tree USA city for 40 years. The CDBG path construction is underway, as Manager Kovac mentioned. It is a hard packed gravel, but that is ADA compliant. It should be finished by the end of September. The sidewalk plan, the first phase has been completed. Jennings, Ireland, and Junedale walkways have been done. The second phase, the precision cutting, has created a list of those that need to be cut for next year. So that project, the second phase, should be done next year in 2026, and that's for about $125,000. The sidewalk tree trimming program with Urban Canopy Works is underway. They're hoping to teach our volunteers and students and give some education on tree trimming. We talked about the garbage bids, and some new business is there has been a request to the village about marking for fire hydrants, about where you can park as it relates to where fire hydrants and where stop signs are. I know that is something that Yvonne wanted to get with the fire and police departments and maybe create a priority of problem fire hydrants in the village, since some of them have more issues than others. And I know in the past we've also done some marking more on the west side of Winton with the more limited street parking. So there was some talk about getting the priority list and making sure that the correct hydrants, if they're needed to be marked, that they are coordinated for safety reasons. That is all we had.
Good.
Questions?
All right, moving on, Community Development, Jim Gohanner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The committee met earlier in August, and we continued our planning for the America 250 celebration. If folks recall, last month, we formed a committee specifically for the activities of America 250. Lisa Knack is our leader of the committee, and there's still an open invitation for folks to join. We need lots of help. As you, we have the park activities like the memorial for the veterans, the pavilion, and of course there's the America 250 picnic. There are lots of ideas for like trying to bring back the parade, and there's a whole list of stuff. There's we really could use folks with different talents to help, and we can't do it all with just a small group, so we would love to have more help. There was a volunteer application put on the Facebook page earlier in the summer. I think it was the beginning of July or so, and a couple folks did submit some applications, and we thank you, and we'll be in contact about a meeting time for getting to know you and so forth. But please, if you would like to help, you're totally welcome. We're just gearing up, and there's a lot of activities we'd love to have your help with. I'd just like to also, again, thank the American Legion and the generosity that they've shown tonight that will, so this is real. We're not just talking about, we've talked for a long time about the memorial walk to honor the veterans in the park and to start building out the park plan that previous council activities, created a wonderful vision, and so now we have resources to really begin the work and start getting things going. So we're very excited at what we can do and building the community next summer through all these activities that we've envisioned. So love to have folks join us. Our next meeting will happen September 9th at 5:30. So if you would like to participate in the community or the America 250 committee, please come to the village offices at 5:30, and we'll be addressing the work of the committee then.
And if they can't make it, is there another avenue for them to volunteer?
Yeah, please send me an email. You can contact me at my village email and just let me know, and then I'll put you in contact with Lisa, and then we'll continue to build out the mail group. So
I just wanted to add, I'm your co-chair for this committee. I just wanted to add for anybody that is listening to this that, veterans are out there, anybody that wants to add something for the money for the Veterans Path, think about at the end of this fiscal year, if you want to have donations counted for tax purposes. And also the American Legion has a GoFundMe that is going to be for the refurbishing of the Liberty Bell that they have there. It would be 50 years old, and they would have also wanted so much to refurbish it for the 250th anniversary as well. But remember, it's just the tax season is going to end on December 31st, and please think about anybody that is a veteran there. We would like to complete this Veterans Path and this idea of the park for the village. We thank you for your generosity ahead of time. Thank you so much.
If I could take a second, I just wanted to thank Lisa, because I know, Lisa, that you've been involved in recent months and that you were thinking about running, and there were some things that you ran into with not being able to do that, and instead of just going away, you're still here. You're taking on a super big freaking project, and I know Jim is grateful. I was about to have to take that on, and then things shifted on council. So I just wanted to commend you. I know not everybody can volunteer. I know not everybody feels as though they can do something or that. It's important, but it is. We give in our time, our tithe, and our talents, and I just wanted to say thank you for giving to the community and just for being a beacon of hope. So we appreciate your time.
Great. Moving on, Finance and Audit, Jack Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council, before you tonight are the before mentioned, promised June and July general fund recaps for your perusal. You'll note that it does appear that, as we anticipated, that the kind of slowing up of the income tax revenue is really relative to the fact that the school, Beechwood Schools is no longer there. So the people that work there are not contributing to that, and that has a major effect in that. That also gives hope that once we get the new tenant into number 10 infield, that will pop back up. But otherwise, it seems to have bottomed out. The general revenues are holding steady. The fund balance at the end of July is $2,504,367.29. The percent of appropriations expended so far for 2025 is at 32.5%, and there are no transfers from the general fund noted at this time. The state audit has been completed, as we've been told, and I believe that was the extent. Was there anything else, Deb, that I needed to add to that?
No, we completed of course, the tax renewal levy, and that, we got that to the Board of Elections timely. So the audit, has been going on the last couple of months, which is normal. And we're nearing completion, so it's going up through the ranks right now. All the field work is done. And as Tony and everyone said, we've finalized the fire department contract and, worked on the police levy with the police department to get their financing situated for the year. So it's been a very busy summer.
All right, thank you. Okay, this is an opportunity for...
Did you add safety to that list?
Oh, safety, that's right. I'm sorry, I had the wrong sheet.
It'll be brief.
Jeff Halder.
Thank you. Safety Committee met tonight at 5:30. We continue to review the emergency preparedness of the village. Yvonne has agreed to put review. We have in the past a pamphlet of emergency numbers and phone numbers. We'll be updating that. Still have a hope to make a smaller magnet version to give to residents so they know where to call in case there's an issue. Other things that were brought to our attention, Chief Haworth made us aware of an upcoming event I'm hoping to attend, sponsored by Hamilton County Emergency Preparedness. What was the date on that? Or
September 29th.
The 25th. But I'm hoping
September.
Yes, thank you. September, and I hope to attend that. And the other thing that we're going to get a little more information is this new RAVE system, which is RAVE, which is a 911 kind of one call. We don't know if we really need that, but we're going to do a little more investigation on that. The other thing that was brought up by the mayor, which I thought was interesting, was that, was it T-Mobile?
Yes.
That has the, if the towers go down, they have a satellite link. Now they're subcontracting that out to other providers so that if the phones go down, they have this active link. And one of the questions that we brought up was maybe that is something, it's a very, very low fee that we might want our maintenance department or a couple key individuals to have in case there is a total power outage. But we'll be looking into that, so I thank you, Mayor, for bringing that up, and that concludes my report.
Okay, all right. Okay, now, opportunities for residents and non-residents to make comments solely regarding legislation that's on the current agenda. Non-residents must obtain prior permission, and nobody's contacted us, to my knowledge. This is time for citizens to comment on legislation listed on the agenda for this session of council. When recognized, please come forward to the podium, complete the sign-in sheet, verbally indicate if you're a resident of Greenhills, and state your comments. Comments will be limited to 4 minutes.
Hi, Mayor, Council.
Yeah. Hmm? Right, are you,
Yes, I'm going to speak. I was filling out the form here. Didn't I
Okay.
have to fill out? No, I'm not. Oh, I am a resident. This is for a
no,
non-resident.
but are you gonna talk
Yes, I'm
about
gonna
one of the
talk.
ordinances, or the resolutions?
I'm going to talk about the vicious dogs and the
Oh.
recent vicious
Yeah.
attack.
No, that will come later.
Yeah, we'll,
Towards the end.
yeah.
Towards the end?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so do I start to sign this sheet?
No,
You
that's
will
it.
at that time,
Oh,
so if
You're all right,
yeah,
you're all right. Frank.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Anybody on the legislation?
Good evening. Patty Edron, 32 Chalmers Lane, and I am one of the candidates for council for 2025. When I look at your list of new business here, I notice there's a number of things that I have taken some notes on. I guess the easiest one would be to address the resolution regarding certain properties in tall grass. I'd like to point out that the Village of Greenhills still owns property on DeWitt Court, and the grass there on that lot is almost 2 foot tall, so I think that needs to be addressed. The next thing would be the appropriations that you've got going here, and the resolution to enter an agreement to spend almost $500,000 on the Malloy's building, or the banquet hall, whatever you want to call it. That building really has been in sad shape for many, many years. And my question is, was there a feasibility study made as to whether or not it made sense to pump $500,000 into it, or possibly take it down? It's not a historic structure. Now, if you've got a lease signed with someone that's hanging on a string here to run a daycare center for disabled folks, it seems to me that you could go ahead with the purchase of the Presbyterian Church, which was discussed at the work session. It seems to me that would be an ideal place to have a daycare center, and it would be a lot easier to keep track of security over there, because Malloy's is in a very out-of-the-way place. The structure of the building is questionable, and for this council to approve spending that kind of money, I think is foolhardy. The other thing is, you've proved in the past you really don't have the expertise to be landlords. We had $8.5 million that we had to choke down for your venture into community development and buying up historic properties. So I guess the major thing that I would like to emphasize is that you need to halt any further contracts and reconsider that it would make far more sense to move ahead with placing this tenant, since you do have someone interested, and it would be a good fit for the church property. I spoke to the realtor just in the last few days, and he says you have not been back in touch with him. He did send you a letter of intent, And I think it is actually malfeasance not to move on this when you've already looked into it and you've already shown that there is great potential for our community. I do not believe that a daycare center for folks back on Malloy's property is doing the rest of the community any good. The other thing is the security back there obviously isn't fit. So then let's get into the Tree City thing. I've been reading up on Tree City and what our requirements are, and I'm questioning, do we really qualify for Tree City anymore with the condition our trees are in? Block 3, where is Block 3? It doesn't tell a specific area that you want to concentrate spending this money on, and I think that really is something the community would like to know about, since a lot of people recently have been expressing concern regarding the tree canopy. There were 2 major trees that were taken down in Pioneer Park recently, which robbed my community, my little neighborhood, of the gorgeous canopy and the trees that we had there. The street trees were trimmed up to 30 foot of their limbs, while other trees on the street you cannot even park a vehicle under or walk under. I'm only 5'2", and I can't make it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anglin. All right, anybody else? Okay, moving on, new business. First is resolution number 2025-R13-F, monies making supplemental appropriations and transfers. Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution 2025-R13F, resolution making supplemental appropriations and transfers. Whereas the 2025 annual appropriations that were adopted on December 14th, 2024 are to be amended, and whereas the appropriations must not exceed the total available resources of the village per Ohio Revised Code Section 5705.36A5. Therefore, an amended certificate of estimated resources has been requested from the County Budget Commission. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the Village Greenhills, Ohio, Section 1, since certain actions are needed in the monies appropriated so to permit the Village of Greenhills to meet its fiscal obligations for the year 2025, the following items of expenditure are to supplement the appropriations for expenditure for the year 2025. Fund description, general fund transfers out, account number 1000-910. Original appropriations, $760,000. Change is an additional $85,000 for a new total of $845,000. Fund description, banquet hall, account number 2910. Original appropriation, $111,700. Change is an additional $85,000 for a new total of $196,700. I'm sorry, say that again. $196,700. Section 2, that the following transfers of funds be made from previously appropriated monies: from general fund 1,000 to banquet hall account number 2910 in the amount of $85,000. Section 3, that this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after the earliest date allowed by law. Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Seconded.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions?
As you can see, this is just a complicated, our normal complicated way of spending $85,000. So.
I have a couple questions if it's appropriate. Since we are transferring these funds and it's gonna go to the banquet hall, obviously with it being election year, there's a lot of people coming out of the woodworks, and obviously I think that it's a little difficult for people to follow and be up to date or informed of just the process and what all goes on behind the scenes. So how long has the banquet hall been empty, been vacant?
Probably for about 2.5 years now, at least.
2 years for sure.
And council and everyone had discussed previously if we should level it, if what we should do
Yes.
with it? And, okay, and then we hired a professional that's licensed in that field to
Correct.
advertise. And would you say that part of that due diligence is we've learned from some of the mistakes from people prior to us and other things that have happened in the past and wanted to do a good job of finding a good fit?
I think so. My recollection, and anybody on council, feel free to jump in if I don't remember this accurately, but I think one of the considerations is the building sits right in the middle of other property, all owned by the village, so it's right in the middle. There's also the concern that, there is history in the building. A lot of people have really fond memories of Malloy's, and to tear it down at the potential that we might not build anything back. And we didn't want that to happen either, so we pursued renovation of the building, and at the same time, put it on the market.
And we have a really good tenant
We
at a
do.
really good rate with 30 employees. And,
Great.
as I remember meeting with the lady, this was perfect.
Yeah,
for that.
perfect, when
Yeah.
she was looking
So,
at other
I-
places, yeah.
And I don't agree about mistakes of the past, so that's just a matter of opinion.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, clerk poll the council.
Mr. Warner,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Ms. Hudson,
Aye.
Mr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Ms. Herman.
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 2025-R13-F passes. Next, resolution number 2025-R14, S&S. Resolution authorizing assessments on certain properties in the village of Greenhills. Ms. Hermes.
Thank you. Resolution number 2025-R14, S&S. Resolution authorizing assessments on certain properties in the village of Green Hills. Whereas the village has given proper notice to the owners of certain real property in the village of Green Hills regarding the removal of vegetation, refuse, garbage, and/or debris from the properties listed below. And whereas the owners of said properties did not take action to remedy the violations, and therefore the village of Green Hills contracted to remove vegetation, refuse, garbage, and/or debris, and now seeks to collect said expenses by authorizing the placement of a lien upon the lands and collected as other taxes. Now, therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Green Hills, Ohio, Section 1, that the Village Council hereby certifies that the costs of such labor, together with the expenses relative thereto, be filed on the return and statement to the Hamilton County Commissioners as an assessment against the properties listed and placed as a lien against the properties by the Auditor of Hamilton County, Ohio, as follows. Parcel number 597-0080-005400, address 77 Burley Circle. Owner, Sunnyview Properties LLC, cost $179.67. Parcel number 597-0060-023600, address 6 DeWitt Street, Ronald Miller, cost $104.06, for a total cost of $283.73. Section 2, all amounts collected as a result of this resolution shall be placed into the general fund of the Village of Green Hills. Section 3, this resolution shall be effective immediately upon its passage. Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
I second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk poll the council.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Ms. Hudson,
Aye.
Mr. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Hermes,
Aye.
Mr. Warner,
Aye.
Mr. Coulter.
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 2025-R14-S&S passes. Next, resolution number 2025-R15-F, resolution establishing a new salary schedule for the Green Hills Police Department. Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution 2025-R15F, resolution establishing a new salary schedule for the Green Hills Police Department. Whereas the citizens of Green Hills approved a levy in order for the village to be able to provide competitive wages to recruit and retain high-quality officers, ensure sustainable staffing for the police department, and support critical services and proactive policing for the Green Hills community. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the Village Greenhills, State of Ohio, that Section 1, the annual salary schedule outlined in Exhibit A to this resolution incorporated herein and by reference made a part hereof shall be the compensation schedule for the Greenhills Police Department through 2031, unless otherwise amended by council. Each year, the increases shall shall become effective in the first full pay period of the appropriate fiscal year based on the schedule. Movement to the next pay stat shall be based upon years of service and be at the recommendation of the department head to the municipal manager. Receiving said compensation is contingent upon the village's financial condition as determined by the finance director and municipal manager and supported by the approved budget for the year under consideration. Section 2, police personnel have not had a salary increase in more than 18 months, and therefore the village council desires to provide each full-time officer with 1/2 of the salary increase listed for the appropriate years of service outlined in Exhibit A, effective with the first full pay period of September 2025, that commences on September 1. The other half shall be paid effective as of the first full pay period of January 2026, and each year thereafter during the first full pay period of January in each subsequent year. Section 3, that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon its adoption. Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any comments or questions?
Well deserved.
Okay. All right, clerk poll the council.
Ms. Hermes?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Holter?
Aye.
Ms. Swaffer?
Aye.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Ms. Hudson?
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 2025-R15-F passes.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Next resolution number 2025-R16-S&S, authorizing the municipal manager to enter an agreement with Rumpke Waste Collection and Recycling Service. Ms. Hermes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number 2025-R16 S&S. Resolution authorizing the municipal manager to enter into an agreement with Rumpke for waste collection and recycling services. Whereas the Village of Greenhills participates in the Southwest Ohio Solid Waste Regional Refuse Consortium, SWAR, with other municipalities that is coordinated by the Center for Local Government to obtain affordable and effective solid waste and recyclable material collection services for its residents. And whereas, following a competitive bid process conducted by the CLG for the consortium, Rumpke is the selected service provider. And whereas, the Village of Greenhills desires to enter into an agreement with Rumpke for solid waste and recycling collection services. Now, therefore, be resolved by members of the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, elected thereto, Section 1, that the municipal manager is hereby authorized to enter into an agreement with Rumpke for said services consistent with the bid submitted by Rumpke dated May 19th, 2025, and specifically calling for the following: 3-year contract with collection of recyclables every other week at the following rates. Year 1, $17 per month. Year 2, $17.68 per month. Year 3, $18.39 per month. Optional two optional 1-year extensions at the following rates. Year 4, $19.12 per month. Year 5, $19.89 per month. Section 2, that said agreement has been reviewed and approved by the village solicitor. Section 3, that this resolution shall be and is in effect from and after the date of its passage by village council. I move for the adoption of this resolution.
I second it.
Okay. Any comments or questions?
Yes, I want to,
Mhm,
okay,
mhm.
thanks. I did want to comment on the 2 optional years. The reason that CLG built that into the bid was that since prices were already looking better from 24 to the 25 bid, there's hope that by the time we would get to year 3, they'd even be more competitive. So that gives us that option. If that's not the case, we can continue with the optional years. So
I have a question. were there any other bids? Because you said that this
No.
went out to bid. So Rumpke was the only
Right. There were others who picked
entity.
up, but that's pretty typical. I can
Okay.
only remember one other time when there was.
When we had another option, but this year we didn't.
Right.
And still the lowest out of everyone that you could see.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Even other Rumpke contracts.
Mm-hmm. Great to know.
And this does not take effect until March of
March.
2026.
Correct.
So get all your bulky items out early.
February.
All right, clerk poll the council.
Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Ms. Hudson?
Hi.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Coulter?
Aye.
Mr. Borner?
Aye.
Ms. Hermes?
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 2025-R16-S&S passes. And I'll add that the waste restrictions in other communities has been in existence for a long time. We have sons that live in other communities and have had this restriction on them since they've lived there and are paying higher garbage rates. All right, the next one is resolution number 2025-R17-CD in support of application being submitted for funding through the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Urban Grant Program. Mr. Vaughn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution 2025-R17-CD in support of an application being submitted for funding through the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Urban Grant Program. Whereas trees have been planted in Greenhills since construction of the community began in 1936 as part of FDR's Resettlement Act, and whereas Greenhills has been a Tree City USA for 40 years, and whereas Greenhills has been designated a National Historic Landmark by the National Park Service, and said designation incorporates the tree canopy, and whereas the cost to maintain a safe tree canopy throughout the village is financially difficult, and whereas funding assistance through the Urban Grant Program will allow Greenhills to address risk concerns in Block Group 3, OH,
Of the village.
of the village. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, that Section 1, the ODNR Urban Grant Program funding in the amount of $100,000 will allow Greenhills to properly address the long-term health of our tree canopy in Block Group 3 of Census Tract 3906102200, and to maintain said tree canopy in a manner that will protect the health, safety, and well-being of all of our citizens and the 40,000 plus members of the general public that pass through our community each day. Section 2, the Council of the Village of Greenhills does hereby support this application and encourages ODNR to give a favorable review of our funding request. Section 3, the municipal manager is hereby authorized and directed to execute and file an application with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources and to provide all information and documentation required to receive funding assistance from the Urban Grant Program. Section 4, this resolution shall be in full force and effect immediately upon its adoption by Village Council. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion for the adoption of this resolution.
Second.
Okay, it's been, any comments or questions?
Me.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a comment. You know, when you're preparing a grant application, you have to prepare it to correspond to the requirements of the grant. And this one had pretty specific criteria where you did have to identify what I am terming Block Group 3, because back in the days of census tracts, which is my understanding they're eliminating or have eliminated, there were also within the census tracts block groups. So you had to identify the block group that was going to be eligible based on the criteria of the grant. So that's the reason for there's a unknown Block Group 3 that's identified in there. It hopefully meets one of the criteria of the grant so we can get the money.
Can you give us a little more information about that? Like how many block groups do we have in the village?
Oh, we don't have very many block groups at all.
Okay.
So, and we may only have 1 or 2 census tracts. And again, they're like, you can't just look up our census tract anymore.
Okay.
Those things are kind of going away. So, and I don't know what the alternative's going to be to that, but this grant was written for block groups and census tracts, so that's why you see it in there.
I like
And-
also that you also put in the National Historic Landmark
Right.
component.
I
So,
I think that's always advantageous
I would think
for
so.
funding.
Try everything.
Right, to try to get money.
I have a question, sorry.
Okay.
I'd like to think that we're common sense people, and I heard some feedback on us applying for this. So this is an application. Does it take away anything from our residents applying for free money for a grant?
Oh my gosh, it would only help.
It would only help, it doesn't hurt
If we
any.
can get
And
funding from somebody else, that's less that we have to come up with.
and
Okay.
Is it a matching grant or not?
Thank you.
It's not required, no. We do have in
So it's
kind.
not
So it's a,
even-
I just wanted to,
Yeah,
it
in
seemed,
kind.
since there was any negativity, I felt like for the people watching that we should just clear that up, just in case. So thank you.
Okay. All right. Clerk poll the council.
Mr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Warner,
Aye.
Ms. Walther,
Aye.
Ms. Hermes,
Aye.
Ms. Hudson,
Aye.
Mr. Holter.
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 2025-R17-CD passes. Next resolution, number 2025-R18-CD, authorizing the municipal manager to enter into an agreement with Kramer and Feldman
Yeah.
for the interior, exterior remodeling of 10 Enfield Street. Mr. Boyner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number 2025-R18-CD, authorizing the municipal manager to enter into an agreement with Kramer and Feldman Incorporated for interior exterior remodel of 10 Enfield Street, whereas the Village of Greenhills advertised for bids for interior exterior remodel of 10 Enfield Street, and whereas the lowest and best bid was submitted by Kramer and Feldman Incorporated, now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, Section 1, that the municipal manager is hereby authorized to enter into an agreement with Kramer and Feldman Incorporated in the amount of $471,500 for the purpose of constructing the interior exterior remodel of 10 Enfield Street. In Section 2, that the finance director is hereby authorized to make payments to Kramer and Feldman Incorporated the amount of $471,500 unless said amount is otherwise changed through the proper execution of change orders. Section 3, that this resolution shall be in effect and be in force from and after the earliest period allowed by law. Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions?
Oh, you know, I have some. Quick question, because it was said earlier that the renovations are gonna be almost $500,000, and it's just one level, right? There's only one level in that building, and the square footage, so there's more levels in the church that was available for sale?
I believe so, yes.
Different boiler rooms and things like that?
Different
And
set of issues.
More,
major
yeah, more
issues.
square footage,
Yeah.
drainage issues, things like that. Okay, so I would figure as a licensed real estate agent that it would have been a lot more costly than a $500,000
It most
project.
definitely would have been.
And we didn't have
Plus,
time
it
to
wasn't
even
on
do a
the table. I mean,
feasibility
that's-
study. This has been two plus years in the making.
Plus, we've owned this building for 50 years.
Okay.
You know, we weren't looking for another building. We had a building we had to use, and that's why we are where we are today with Malloy.
Again, I just wanted to ask some questions for some clarity for people watching. Thank you.
I just would like to make one comment. I don't think we've talked about rate of return on the investment, so it sounds like a big number, but with the rent that is part of the lease contract.
30
the payback,
30 employees.
So there's that tax benefit that we lost from Beechwoods, but it's like a 5-ish year payback. I don't know the exact payments and stuff, but it's certainly between 5 and 10 years. I mean, it's a good rate of return.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what the break-even point
Yeah.
is, and it's, not very far out to keep something at a crucial location, very vibrant, and hopefully for well beyond 5 years. So I couldn't feel better about a decision we're making. So,
Thank you.
Clerk poll the council.
Ms. Hermes?
Aye.
Mr. Halter?
aye.
Ms. Hudson?
Aye.
Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Borner?
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 2025-R18-CD passes. Okay, next item, council comments. Anybody have any comments to make? All right. Municipal calendar. We actually have a concert tomorrow night and another one Thursday night. And Jim may be getting close to being caught up now with all the rainouts and everything.
And then
Anybody
the
else have
resident
anything else for the
appreciation,
council?
yeah, resident appreciation day at the pool on the 30th from noon to 3.
All right. Okay, now, this is an opportunity for residents and non-residents to appear before council. Non-residents must obtain prior permission. This is time for citizens to comment on matters before council. When recognized, please come over to the podium. Complete the sign-in sheet, verbally indicate if you're a resident of Greenhills or a non-resident, then state your comments. If you have questions, the questions will be recorded and referred to the manager's office for a response. This will allow time for thoughtful and thorough consideration to be given to each question. Council meetings are recorded for ease of transcription. Comments are limited to 4 minutes. Speakers may not yield any or all of their time to other speakers. Now, do you want to?
Yes, my name's Keith Combrick, and I live at 38 Alona Drive. I'm a resident of Greenhills, and I have a sad story to relate, but I need to relate it so that something like this doesn't happen again in the near future. I was walking our 4-year-old Yorkshire Terrier one street over on Ingram when when I walked down in front of a house, a dog burst out from the screen door at me, and it was only about 25 feet away. And I had bear spray in my pocket, but I didn't have time to pull it out. It all happened so fast. And I don't know if the dog knocked me down or I was trying to protect our Yorkie, but I ended up in the street, laying in the street, and the dog that attacked us savaged my poor little dog. As I'm laying and I'm trying to pull my dog out of the jaws of this other dog. Yeah, it looked like a pit bull to me. But so, as I had blood all over me and I was running up the street with my dog, we took it to Grady Hospital, and they suggested that we put it down. But I just could not let it go. We love this. My wife and I love this dog. Our relatives and friends love the dog. The neighbors love the dog. He's the sweetest little dog that you'd ever want to meet. So we rushed him down to Pet Med in Fairfax, and they did surgery on him the next day, and he's still alive. But our vet bills are now $30,000. And I talked to the owner after this happened, and he said how sorry he was. He also said, I love my dog. And I didn't want to argue with him. But if I had to talk to him today, I'd say, do you love violence? Do you love death and sadness? Because that's what your dog is all about. So it looked to me like a pit bull. And I see a lot of dogs around the street, around Greenhills, because I walk my dog a lot, and as do other people. And there's a lot of scary looking dogs around. And I wonder if some sort of law can be made to limit these dogs. I mean, the way I look, they say, oh, it's the owner, it's not the dog. But if you just look on the web anywhere, where do most of the attacks on humans and other dogs, where do they come from? It comes from a pit bull. You know, it's like they're a loaded gun sitting in someone's house waiting for a child to pick up the gun or some teenager to pick up a gun. These pit bulls are a loaded gun. That's how dangerous they are. And I guess that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
I'm Cindy Combrink. I'll continue the story. Teddy is still in critical condition, and if you want to see some sad pictures or hear all of his injuries, I'll tell you afterwards. But we started talking about public safety at the beginning. I've lived in Greenhills for 19 years, and I've always walked a dog. I've always had a dog to walk in Greenhills, walked all over any time of the day or night. And in the last year or so, maybe longer than that, myself and many other dog walkers I know, to walk around Greenhills now with any size dog, because this dog had already attacked our neighbor's big dog across the street, which we didn't know, or we would never have gone that way. It had already chased someone. I don't know any other complaints. I'm not privy to that, but those are ones I know of. But as I was saying, you have to carry a big stick and mace or bear spray. Now that's sad that you can't go out with even your big dog and not worry about getting attacked. And certainly I will never, ever walk on the streets of Greenhills with a little dog again. The village is changing. There's a lot more dogs. There's a lot more scary looking dogs. I've heard many other tales of people being chased, terrorized, dogs charging at other doors, dogs getting loose and going down to Winton Woods Campground and attacking a husky, I know happened. There used to be a pack of 5 Rottweilers that attacked another neighbor's dog. I mean, we're talking about public safety, and we have all the nice police and fire. We can't walk around our neighborhood. I'm afraid to walk around. I'm afraid it'll get me. We have little children. We have too many scary animals, and Fairfield and Amberley Village have ordinances. You don't have to wait for the dog warden, who has yet to investigate this. That dog is still sitting over there. And Amberley and Fairfield make their own ordinances. And in the city of Cincinnati, the police come, they take the report, they call the dog warden. The dog warden comes to get the dog, or the police take the dog to animal care. Sometimes they do let it quarantine at the house. But the dog's off the property immediately. Then they cite it to court. They have to go to court. And then it's investigated and determined what to do. Not let the dog sit there. We didn't even know the immunization status. The health department mailed something, I think it was yesterday. But I did want to thank all of our neighbors and people we don't even know in the community and the police. Everyone has been so kind, but we need to make it financially not feasible for these people to keep dangerous dogs. They should have liability insurance. They should have fences that are high enough and good enough. This person has lattice across the front of their fence. That's decoration. I don't know how much more of a fence they have, but I know it got out and bit my neighbor's dog, attacked it. So they should have the insurance and the, I wish I knew where they were, you know. I just don't understand why we have to have Like this dog, that's 3 incidents I know of, and my husband didn't say, but he was bitten on the back of his leg too, in all the scuffle. And his shoulder was injured too. So it hurt a person and 2 other dogs, and it's a nice little village that you can't walk around because you're gonna get attacked. Sooner or later, you're gonna meet an aggressive dog. So I wish we could do something along the lines of Fairfield or Amberley Village. They take care of it. You don't have to be at the mercy of the dog warden who's overworked and understaffed, and we still haven't had an investigation. It's been a week and 2 days, and nobody has, the dog warden called and said someone will come. Well, when? You know? So I'm never walking down Ingram Road again. Oh, I forgot to sign it. You can't,
I just
you can't
wanted,
talk.
I just wanted to add that, yeah, I'm 70 years old, and I've never had a worse experience in my entire life to see that little dog being bitten.
Ripped
and-
apart.
and
He's
sh-
ripped
shaken.
apart. And people standing right there and let it run out the door too. So that, to me, that sounds criminal. And if you did $30,000 worth of damage to my car, I'm sure something would happen to you, but apparently nothing's happened.
Hi, my name's Frank Stanger. I live just up the street from them. And I've been a resident and my wife of Greenhills for 39 years, and I love this community. But like Cindy said, the place has changed. I once was able to safely walk at night with my wife and dogs, not anymore. I once was able to safely walk during the morning or afternoon with my precious grandbabies, not anymore. I've been attacked 3 times in 39 years of living here. The first attack, I wasn't ready at all. My son was 9 months old. We were walking our dog. The German Shepherd jumped across him to get to our dog. My wife and I, we were just in shock when it happened. That it was over unhandled. You just freeze. You don't know what to do. As that German Shepherd latched on the back of my dog's neck. Okay? I was a nice guy. I didn't file charges. I just went home and said, "Thank you, Lord Jesus. My son wasn't mauled." I went and I talked to the homeowner after I got my vet bill, which was back then $100. There were 2 puncture wounds in the back of my dog's neck. And the homeowner was, okay, give me the bill. Give me the bill, okay. You weren't hurt, your son wasn't hurt, what's the big deal? Give me the bill. Are we done yet? Are we done yet? Okay, I overlooked it, but for the next month, I walked up and down his street waiting for that dog to be let loose with a stick. But he never let that dog out again. I don't know what happened to him. So the first attack, I wasn't ready. The second attack was by a loose pit bull. That was 5 years ago at the corner of Handel and Hadley. I was walking my little dog, okay, on a Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. My dog's on a leash. My dog's within 6 foot of me, and their pit's running loose. It broke the tether. They had it tied with clothesline. I'm yelling and screaming, "Getting your dog," with a couple expletives. Nobody came out. Nice sunny day, okay? But what I learned was a pit bull don't like a 50,000 volt stun gun in the chest. So when that pit circled and came closer, I thought, dear Jesus, we're gonna find out if this thing works. And it works. I put it right in its chest. That thing barked, jumped back, it showed its teeth and was ready to come again, and I moved to it because I was determined I was gonna get it again. That thing took off. Okay, so I learned something there. Carry a stun gun with me and keep it charged every week. Keep it charged. Don't take it for granted. Okay? Third time I was attacked was last winter with my I have 2 little dogs. One's they're a combination, can't think right. It's a Boston Terrier pugs. So 6 months ago, they're maybe a year old now. So they were little dinky things. They look like a good sausage to a dog. Okay, I was walking up alone, midway up, and a dog got loose from a guy. This was a lab. The lab bit my dog on the back. The only thing that saved my dog behind the neck is winter time, and you know, little dogs wear those collars. that is a harness, like a body harness, and it had a sweater on. So the thing that stops labs from biting is a nice hard hit with a big stick right in the center of their back. And that cut the dog loose, but the owner says, you hit my dog again, I'll hit you. He would have lost, you know. But like I said, we just went on with it. My question is, that's how we have to walk the streets. So now my wife and I, when we walk the streets, we went to Vance's and bought the same thing. The only thing is we don't carry it in our pocket. I wear it around my belt with the safety undone and my finger on it, and I anticipate an attack. Because I said 3 times in 39 years. So that's once every 10 years. But like I said, now when we watch our grandbabies, I don't walk them like we used to, because I just anticipate every time I hear ruff, ruff, there's a dog. And where they're talking about 345 Ingram, we walked past that house before, and all of a sudden we heard crash. And I look over, and it's this dog trying to get through the storm door. My first reaction is I reach for my spray. Now everybody knows bear spray will go 30 feet. I wear glasses, and I figure, well, okay, I'd have to pull my little dogs back, but the pit bull is going to get the worst. So anymore, I almost feel like a police officer, and I admire you guys. You don't get paid enough for what you do. But every time my wife and I go walking, I feel like I'm a police officer. I get my stick, I get my mace, because they carry a stick and a mace, and I get my stun gun. So I figure, okay, I can get my stick here, but we even practice it. We figure a dog's coming, I'm gonna grab the leash when my 2 dogs are here, pull it back, and just step, and I have the bear spray right here. I'm gonna disperse 30 feet, and I'm gonna empty the canister on it.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay. Something needs to be done. I mean,
Hi, my name is Linda Turner, and I live at 1 Elona Drive. I've just been in Greenhills for 6 years. And when I first moved here, I didn't walk my dogs. And now I got this cute little dog. He's a mini golden doodle. He's 20 pounds. So I've been walking him now, well, he's 11 months old. So after winter got over, I started walking him. In the last 2 years, 2 dogs have been viciously attacked on either Elona or Ingram. So the one from Cindy and Keith, the one on Elona was attacked. The dog had multiple injuries, and the owner did also. The dog warden did come and take that dog away because those people had no control over it, and it was a pit bull or a pit bull mix. This one there on Ingram, I know the guy who lives next to it. He had to put tarps up along the fence, double tarps, so that that dog didn't charge at his dog, because it kept charging at their dog and scaring them. So when I go walking with my little Benny dog, now I have to look. Okay, is there a screen door or a storm door? Is it latched? Because I was at the corner of Farragut, and I don't know which one that is. It's one of the H's. On a Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, this lady had come out, but she didn't make sure that her storm door was latched. And so their pit bull charged out at me and Benny. I screamed so loud I scared myself. The lady came running over. Benny and I got away unharmed. But we shouldn't have to fear to walk our dogs in this neighborhood. So what I'd like to know is, what can the council do? What can you do? What can be done to stop vicious dog attacks? And to make sure that if there's one attack, it's reported correctly, so that then the rest of us know not to go that way or how to protect our animals. That's the biggest thing. Because now, I mean, we passed along. Their little dog, you know, it's like I see a dog walker, I'm like, hey, did you know, blah, 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 blah. We should not have to worry that that dog is still there. We should not. It should be out of the neighborhood. So, and lastly, none of us should have to be carrying sticks and bear spray and laser guns or whatever else. It's just not the neighborhood that I wanted when I moved here. So thanks for your consideration. Can I just finish signing in?
Okay, thank you.
Good evening. I'm Stephanie. I'm a resident of Greenhills for 25 years. And I just wanted to add to Cindy and Keith Combrick's and Linda Turner's comments here about that vicious dog attack. I also have to be on high alert when I walk my dog. He passed away recently, but because there was a pit bull mix living across the street. And because I was on high alert, I saw him chasing, and I picked up my dog, and he was jumping up, and I'm like, oh, great, I'm going to get bit. You have the laws on the books. 505-0211, injury or bodily harm inflicted by dog or other animal. No person shall own, keep, or harbor any dog or other animal that kills, bites, or otherwise injures either a person or another domesticated animal. It's a misdemeanor of the 4th degree. You can cite them to court. We would really appreciate that. So like Linda and Cindy and Keith said, the dog is still there and we still have that fear. The owner obviously is not capable of confining this dog. So we can't count on the quarantine at the owner's house to be effective. So I think that as a police department, we would appreciate it if you could cite him to court. That way the process to get the dog declared as a vicious dog can be initiated. And animal cares can be called, take the dog, and have them quarantine the dog at animal cares. That way, the dog's not in the community anymore until the investigation and everything is done with. There's plenty of hearings for dog designation. It talks about the Greenhills municipal manager and the chief of police who can start this whole process of getting the dog declared as a vicious dog. And since in this instance, the dog sustained life-threatening injuries, so this is a serious injury, plus Mr. Comberg was also bit, the dog has a history of attacking and chasing people, you got prima facie evidence that could easily show that the dog is a vicious dog. So, and this is all part of your own laws, your own codes that are found online. So, we just wanted, Mr. Steiner, was that correct? Yeah. It's correct. I've been here 25 years and the neighborhood has changed. We want to get back to that community village feel because we all enjoy it. That's why we live here, you know? I mean, that's where we all came to this village, I feel. And I just feel council, the police department, if you guys can get together and really trying to do something about this, you heard all the stories now. You are aware of this. The last thing you want to be is for the village of Greenhills to get sued and everybody knows you're not aware of this problem and you're not doing enough to reduce or stop the problem. Because I don't know if the village of Greenhills can survive being on the losing end of a lawsuit because eventually somebody will sue. That's a lot of money, $30,000. Not everybody has that, and I've seen the dog. It's just absolutely terrible to look at, you know? For a lot of us, our animals are part of our family, and I'm sure you have that too. So yeah, I just wanted to end with that, and we would really appreciate it, you know, as much help as we can get from the police department. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, would it be appropriate for me to ask a question just in general while they're...
Well, let's wait until we're
Okay, thank you.
finished with everything.
There may not be enough. Teresa was nice enough to make copies for me because the library was closed. So I couldn't make enough for everybody. Monique Masonhalter, Greenhills resident. As I've mentioned at past meetings, there are federal bills being rushed through that will eliminate municipal control over the installation of wireless infrastructure, including small cell towers and antennas. I've also provided you with printed materials to review. Last month I gave you an article about new proposed Federal Communication Commission, or FCC, poll rules. The FCC is asking for feedback on docket number 17-84, removing barriers to broadband deployment and investment. One of the proposed rules is there be no limits on applications, so the poll owner can't set a limit on the size or frequency of request from an attacher for attachments. There are other proposed rules that also further limit municipal authority. I ask again that you consider submitting feedback to the docket on behalf of our village. As also mentioned, the FCC is refusing to comply with the 2021 court order to address scientific evidence related to the health and environmental impacts of RF wireless radiation. Thank you again for writing a letter to the FCC. 17 Ohio state lawmakers have also sent letters. Ohioans have also been asking our federal lawmakers to write to the FCC, but none so far have done so. I ask you again to contact Congressman Davidson and Senators Marino and Husted with your concerns. Regarding the 2021 court order, last week, Environmental Health Trust, EHT, filed a petition urging the FCC to immediately comply with it, as the agency has failed to comply within a reasonable period, 4 years. The FCC's failure is exasperated by recent developments, including the Supreme Court's ruling in Loper Bright Enterprises v. Raimondo, which eliminated Chevron deference, empowering courts to exercise independent judgment on agency statutory authority. EHT has concluded that prompt compliance is imperative to protect public health, safety, and the environment. Tonight, I've provided you with copies from the EHT website, executive summary of EHT petition demanding FCC compliance with federal court mandate on wireless radiation safety, and I will now read some excerpts from it. EHT has filed a petition urging the FCC to immediately comply with a judgment and mandate. The DC Circuit Court's mandate requires the FCC to address 6 specific areas where its existing 1996 RF radiation human exposure regulations were found deficient. 1, inadequacy of RF testing procedures. Current specific absorption rate, or SAR testing, is solely heat-based, derived from animal studies in the 1980s, fails to consider non-thermal biological effects or cumulative exposure. Testing uses a mannequin that represents a large adult male, not accounting for children's vulnerabilities. Phones are tested at distances that do not reflect real-world direct body use. A Freedom of Information Act request in 2023 showed that the FCC's own 2019 internal tests indicated certain cell phones exceeded SAR limits. 2, impacts of RF radiation on children. They are disproportionately affected due to their smaller heads, thinner skulls. Immature immune systems. American Academy of Pediatrics has repeatedly urged the FCC to reassess standards. National Institute of Health findings suggest radiation limits may need to be reduced significantly to protect children. The FCC failed to consider extensive scientific evidence of adverse biological effects from long-term non-thermal RF exposure unrelated to cancers. There's a long list of effects. Since 1996, the number of cell towers has surged from approximately 24,800 to over 432,000 and projected to reach nearly 30 billion by 2027. And the FCC does not maintain a national registry of all RF sources. Please write to your lawmakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Monique.
Anybody else? Hmm?
Okay.
My name is Patty Andwan, and I am actually speaking on behalf of a number of residents that I've talked to recently that are extremely disturbed about what happened at what you're calling the banquet center, which we're going to throw over $500,000 into to try to resurrect it because somebody got married there. Are you kidding me? You're making financial decisions to cost that much of our tax money based on something that flimsy. That structure is not worth saving. We mowed down, thanks to Dave's way, building after building in our historic district just to play Monopoly. It cost us to lose our population. It cost us to lose the major portion of our historic center. $8.5 million in debt. We are now paying our Rumpke bill because of the misfeasance and the reckless spending of money, but here you go again. You have an opportunity to be purchasing a property that is a brick property that has history. It has lived through the entire time of this community. It was not something that was slapped on the back end to be a country club. The fact that a 6-year-old, a 9-year-old, 11-year-old, and 12-year-old could attack this place, and we're sitting here wringing our hands about it, it is not a good location to be having a daycare center for disabled or mentally disabled people. The church, on the other hand, would provide safety to them. It would provide a renter, someone who would be bringing income to help offset the cost of any renovations. So I guess the thing that I want to say today in terms of, for me and for other taxpayers, I want it officially in the records that I am objecting to the payment to this contractor under Resolution 2025 R18 CD, and I want that marked in the record permanently. Here's your solution for security. It's called a camera, a ring floodlight camera. You've got little signs here that say warning, security cameras in use. I just put 2 of these up at my house. There's even a siren that goes off. How long do you think a 6-year-old would have stayed there if a siren was going off? You people have not been using good judgment. If you got a ring camera at your home and we have an investment that you want to shell almost $1 million at, you gotta tell me that you can't afford a ring camera. Come on. I wish the police chief would notify people that they need to be changing the batteries in their ring camera, because when I go door to knock, so many people have ring cameras. Apparently the Greenhills Council doesn't seem to think that there's any necessity for any kind of security. I don't think you would need that kind of security over at the church. I think you've got 30 days to retract that contract, and I am asking you to do so.
Thank you, Ms. Andwan. Anyone else? Okay, before I adjourn the meeting, maybe either like our attorney or our police chief to comment on the problems with the state law, the law the village has, and what the village can legally do. So who wants to go first?
Sorry. I'll make mine real quick. Yep. I appreciate everybody coming out about them, and I had the honor and privilege to talk to Cindy and Keith. I have a hard time pronouncing the last name, I apologize. Yesterday, talked to them in length about
the chief's addressing.
So rude.
Decorum,
You sit down
please.
and
Yeah.
one or leave.
Ms. Hamel, please.
Wow.
Wow.
Something.
Piece of
So-
work.
A fine representative.
So I did get to talk to
Very.
them yesterday, and I got in more depth with them that I won't bring out here. To Mr. Stagner, I believe his last name, yeah, his points are good points. He did mention the address, 345 Ingram. That's public record, so I'm not saying anything. But just to get it out there, 345 Ingram is where this incident occurred. There were 2 prior incidents earlier in the year with this individual's dog at that time. The first one, the dog that was injured, not nearly severe as yours was. Right, not nearly as severe as theirs was. Unfortunately, that victim did not want to prosecute at the time. The individual paid for the vet bills. Naturally, they weren't $30,000 vet bills. So naturally, for us to charge them with that at that time, we would have to have them sign an affidavit, and they're the witness in court. So they weren't willing to do that. They did it civilly. The second time was an individual, I don't want to get them confused here. Yes, second time was another dog got attacked, and a 13-year-old was trying to break him up. 13-year-old got a puncture wound, and the dog was injured, not nearly, once again, as severe as Cindy and Keith's dog. That time, I pulled that report. Once again, Cincinnati Care stated they were coming out that evening and citing the owner for that offense. Now, I have not been able, we've been, like you, been playing phone tag with Cincinnati Care to see where their update on their investigation. I know they said Officer Depew was going to be investigating, which from this prior report sounds like the same officer from this prior report. So we're in contact with them back and forth, trying to get answers on what they're going to do. We always, I don't want to give the false hope, we always have the option after this, on any of these big cases, we give to them to investigate, the game warden, the dog warden. We always have the option to come back and sign an affidavit and have you be the prosecuting witness and give them a citation for failing to confine their dog. So that's always an option. I don't want to give anybody in here a false hope that when we issue citations like that, the dog does not leave the residence. Okay, that's just us getting them in court. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're taking the dog away. So I don't want anybody to get false hope thinking we're allowed to do that. We're not allowed doing that. And I'm sure Mr. Forbes will. The only other comment I have to say is I'm glad the taser worked. I've been in this business 34 years. I've seen plenty of times where the taser did not take effect on the dog. So I don't want to give false hope thinking that's going to happen every time.
Well, it's 3 options.
Right, because it does not happen. So it's a good option, and commend you for doing that and carrying that. But it's just always something I just want to put out there. In my career, I've seen dogs where they did not give up on biting somebody until they were deceased. So.
$200 fine is not effective. Other places have higher fines. If you hit their pocketbook, make them get liability insurance, have a higher fine. Don't take the dog home every time. Cite them the first time. If you hit them in the pocketbook, that's the only thing that will do.
Right, and then I would ask Mr. Forbes
Sure.
to talk about
You know, unfortunately, this isn't the first time that this topic comes up and is brought before council, and past councils have spent an incredible amount of time reviewing, researching to find out what is available at the local level to do. And what past councils have always decided is that the best option was to have our local ordinance match or mirror the state law. And so, as someone mentioned, we do have, and we've said this in this room before, we do have an ordinance on the books. Law enforcement does have options that you've heard Chief talk about just now that they can pursue. So we do have an ordinance. Council's direction in the past has always been the safest way to make sure that your ordinance is enforceable, that doesn't get challenged, doesn't get thrown out, is to have it matched with the state law. And that's what we've done. There are some changes pending at the state level. They're not progressing very quickly. I just checked again today. That bill, it was introduced, it was referred to a committee. It's had one hearing and it hasn't gotten any more traction. I think what council had contemplated before was, let's see what happens with that change in the state law, and if that gives us more tools to adopt, we will do that. So we'll continue to watch that state law. What we can do now is we can do another, what I'll call sort of deep dive on our existing ordinance and see if there are places that confidently make changes to that. See how the latest version of the state law is. We can do those things. And my office is happy to, continue to look at that and see if there are places where we can make some modifications to our current ordinance that we're confident could be enforced. I will say, in the state of Ohio, pit bulls are
the most
legal to own. There are, at the state level, there are no breed-specific regulations. And we've followed that.
But the law says that the village, that cities are free to make their own.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
the full ban.
Okay.
You can charge more money, you can.
All right.
Cite them and take
Okay,
them.
hold on.
And my,
And I do want a moment.
as I've said, past councils, the direction has been, let's mirror the state law. If there are places that we want to deviate, we can look into that and see what those may be, what they may be. Last thing I'll say, this has nothing to do with our ordinance. The timing is almost incredible, but if anybody saw Cincinnati.com today, one of the top headlines today is that the American Pit Bull Terrier is the most
owned.
It is the most common breed in the state of Ohio. It has surpassed German Shepherds, Golden Retrievers, Labs. So while the state of Ohio says it's legal to own and it does not have breed-specific legislation, Ohio has become, it is the most popular breed in the state of Ohio.
May I have you look at code 505?
I'm familiar, and Chief, we're very familiar with the ordinance that we have in place now. What I'm saying is we can look to see if there are opportunities to make other modifications to that.
I will maybe add one thing, that your statements here would be good if there was a hearing in Columbus on their legislation for someone like you to go up and testify to the state legislature. Because that should give real meaning to what they're addressing and the problems that we have.
I want,
Okay.
I'd like to weigh in on this if I could. I have not been on safety committee the entire time. I was on community development for quite a while and relatively new to the safety committee. Even prior to that, though, I will tell you, at least my attitude, and the others that were present at the time can speak up. This was not, and not saying anything against how you're mentioning that we were following state law. Our goal has always been to make this the safest community possible. We were very, and still are, very proud that it's a safe community compared to others. When we did have a breed-specific law on the books for the purpose of safety reasons, and the state also, it aligned with the state. When we have made adjustments to coincide with the state as they actually loosened their requirements, it wasn't willingly. It wasn't something we wanted to do. My understanding, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but my understanding is it was undefensible, unenforceable. So if it meant nothing for us to make a law, or just got us in trouble or lawsuit trouble with the opposing side on that view. That was the reason. I believe it was maybe the July safety session or safety committee meeting, I had brought up the idea of sending out notification. I said, just like on a sex offender, people are notified around them, because I have a dog, I walk it almost daily, my wife walks the dog, I have the same concerns. Now, it's a bigger dog, it doesn't lessen my concern. And so that's one of the greatest things since we moved in this community, that you could walk around the green belt, all the things that are here. If you can't, no, I realize that that's a choice. I'm saying that I feel that same concern, but the thing about it too is we have to create laws that are enforceable, and if they're not enforceable, now that, please let me finish. You've had your time. You can speak after I'm done. We want laws that are enforceable, and I believe we're open to any method possible to prevent this from ever happening. It sounds like might be an easy fix. If we can enforce and raise the amount triple, 5 times, I'm game. I don't know about others, but I think we want to do anything we can and put every barrier and speed bump in the way of any kind of vicious animal. It is. I was just concerned when downtown was in the city, where a stepfather, and the child was mauled and killed. So it is like a loaded gun, and I think I'm going to do, and I believe others on council will do everything possible to prevent this. But we also have to realize, we have limitations. Thank you. I'm done.
One sentence.
Sure.
I wonder if wealthy communities are able to say, not in my backyard, and then restrict.
Yeah, I don't know if I can answer. Yeah.
Okay.
We don't care about a pretty specific ban. I'm just saying, we're at the mercy of the dog warden, who's overworked and understaffed. Why? Other places
Well,
can't
in
help
that,
themselves.
and I know you want.
Well,
I
go
want.
ahead.
I know you
Okay.
want to move on, Dave. But
Right.
this is one time. It's
Okay,
too important.
go ahead. But
So, I agree. I think that I don't know. I can't speak to whether a wealthy community can do it or not, or has deeper pockets and can weather a lawsuit or something like that. The top priority is safety. We will do everything we possibly can to keep people safe, and we're going to be looking at whatever we can to make that happen. So I'm not disagreeing with you, but realize that we're fighting some state laws that are very, very loose when it comes to this topic, and that's part of the mix. I wish we could just go in. But I also think as a village that we should be as vocal about this to those in charge. If they're overworked, it's no different than the 911 call that wasn't getting answered. I once called 911 and didn't get an answer. So I think that we need to push back as much as we possibly can. Thank you.
Chief, do you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I appreciate, number one, people coming in and talking about this and getting questions answered the best we can, instead of taking that on social media, wondering us answering the questions. So very productive, thanks.
Okay. And Rachel, did you have something?
Just real quick, I just acknowledge that you guys went through a trauma, and I just ask in your time of grieving, one, I'm sure that he passed along. I shared my card, said, hey, reach out to me if you want. I'm right there on Japonica. My elderly grandfather lives with me. My kids, my youngest daughter is 2. We walk up and down that street. So I wouldn't have known that this happened had he not come and told me. And even to acknowledge your comment, Stephanie, about coming together and being a community, like, we should be yes and amen, and it needs to happen before there's something like this. I had real quick, when I was pregnant with my first son, a pit bull attacked my miniature schnauzer. Now, mind you, that miniature schnauzer raised by my grandparents had actually bitten two people, so it really isn't breed specific. But it was a ex-con that lived down the road from me. His dog broke into my chain link fence and attacked my dog. He opened the chain link fence, got his dog, my dog ran off, and I found him the next day with puncture wounds. So your trauma and what you just experienced is not falling on deaf ears. But if it was, then we would just pass something and appease you by writing something that we wouldn't be able to back. It has no weight. So you're doing what you need to do. My question earlier was to ask the chief, did he hear about it, or was this the first time? Because this cannot be the first time that we hear things and we have an opportunity to react. But it takes time and there's a process. So we will do our due diligence and we will follow up, and you guys just continue to do yours and continue reaching out and doing what you're doing. And we commend you for coming out and speaking, especially when I'm sure you would rather be at home than stuck here for almost 3 hours and be with your pup. So we're sorry that this happened, and we will do what we can. And thank you, Chief, for being responsive and for Jeff Forbes.
All right. And we'll, go ahead.
Jeff, just a question. Is there any way we can beef this up as far as the financial responsibility bond, certificate of insurance specific for dog bites? I mean, because
put that on my list. We're gonna tomorrow. We'll pull the whole that whole chapter that we have in our code and start looking at opportunities.
And see what Amberley and Fairfield are doing. How are they?
Yeah, I mean, we can. We will do that. I will say, I caution sometimes, and this doesn't have anything to do with Greenhills or Amberley or anyone, but just because another community does it, doesn't make it legal, constitutional, enforceable, defensible. But it certainly gives us a better sense of what other communities are doing, what they've been able to do. So we will absolutely start looking into that stuff right away.
One more quick question, because full picture, full circle, if we did just slap something up there and it's not enforceable and we do go after somebody down the road, then couldn't they come back and sue us if they find that it was like discriminatory or
Sure.
anything in a way?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And that's always the
Double-edged sword.
yeah, exactly. Because on one hand, you want to make sure you're doing what you can to protect your residents. And just as we heard tonight, if you don't do something, you might get sued. If you do something and it turns out that it's improper,
We
you
have to,
might get
yeah,
sued.
we have to make the
And
best.
so we have to make, exactly, we have to make the best decision.
choice
So
possible.
we will absolutely start that process right away.
Okay.
Quick question, because we had talked about this, you had brought this up, Jeff, a while back. Is this an instance where I can put on Facebook and name the address?
I don't see why not. I
Okay.
mean, what I would generally tell you is, consult with chief, because not in this situation, but there are times where you don't want to publish something because they're in the middle of an investigation and, law enforcement would say, don't put that out there. But if what we're talking about is, there was a known, animal attack
In
at
the
this.
300 block?
Yeah, I don't see any issue with posting that publicly. That's all part of the public record at this point, so.
And I have
Since the address was mentioned here.
Yeah.
And one other question, Chief, has the police department done everything possible and legal, given this situation? I know that you've contacted this outside entity, or not outside, but the Hamilton County, what is it, the,
Cincinnati Care.
right. If they're not doing their job, have we done everything we can do to discourage this or
We would,
stop?
if they don't, or we have no contact or whatever, we would cite the owner of the.
And then how do you determine how much time is reasonable? I mean, do you wait 4 days, 6 months?
I would think we have up to 6 months to cite.
Well,
those that
it's
fail
not
to
how much
file.
we have. I'm
Right.
just saying,
We
in
wouldn't.
this case, to protect the community, it seems like we would err on the side of doing something sooner rather than later.
Correct.
That would be our choice, I believe.
Could I just ask one question? This might kind of be mundane or something, but do you, as a community, all I've heard today is the money that we're gonna use to make Greenhills pretty, which is great. But if there's no people walking the streets because they're afraid of aggressive dogs, what is that a waste of that money? And another question is, do you know how many, maybe not pit bulls, but aggressive dogs are in this area that we can be aware of when we are walking? Because I'm a walker, but I don't walk anymore because I'm afraid to because of the dogs.
No, we have no idea.
Well,
I
and
don't
also,
think of how
just
many aggressive
one-
dogs.
In response, one thing is, I'm not aware of anything that we passed tonight that was about making Greenhills pretty.
Well, I mean, like.
Well,
No,
okay.
just to clarify,
Okay.
because,
All right.
so that's one thing. The other thing too is that we can't go and just look at a dog and say, well, that one's aggressive. Usually in Ohio, there's behavior that has to happen to prove that out first.
We will look into this further and maybe check with the office if at the next work session, depending on what our attorney comes back with, we'll have that discussion. And at the work session, we could have more of an interchange with who comes in as part of that discussion.
Will the next council meeting have more information
Well,
relative to this?
I don't know yet.
We're
It
saying the
depends on
next
what-
work session is where we
Right,
discuss
that's in 2
stuff.
weeks.
That's in 2 weeks. And we
Where-
welcome you back, of course.
Right. It's not as formal as this kind of a meeting.
Is that reasonable amount of time for?
I mean,
If something-
I will get you everything I can get you by then.
Okay.
Okay.
Before we adjourn, not about the dogs, I just wanted, as an announcement, I just got notification that the Wittenwood South Campus and the Greenhouse Community Building will be closed tomorrow because of the water main breaks, if that affects anybody. Just FYI, if your kids go to South Campus or the community building, it's closed because of the water.
Okay, Chief.
Last thing, I promise. If before now in the next meeting, if we issue a citation and you hear that they were issued a citation, I don't want you to have false hope walking by there thinking the dog's calling, because it's dog. Okay. That's all.
Okay. All right.
My husband has stopped every person that he has seen walking down the street and told about this incident. And I'm referring to these pregnant women that have small dogs that are, pushing carts or little babies. They wouldn't have a chance with this dog.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's probably told 20 people, women.
And they were all surprised
Families,
and
and they're all
shocked. They said,
thanking
"What's that
him
number?
for
What's that
that.
number?"
Yeah.
You know,
And then they turn around.
And the reason my concern is, how can we get the word out? It's
Social media, talking to neighbors,
Yeah.
community.
Well, that's what we did.
You guys
That's
did the
what we
right
did.
thing.
It's like, it
You
wasn't
did the right
enough,
thing.
though,
No, it is enough. It's a start. It's a start. It's a start.
Okay.
I don't know, is there anything that council can do to, for?
State and federal lawmakers.
Put it on our Facebook page, one thing. And other people discuss it. Okay, thanks for coming. We'll continue this discussion. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.